Hey, so this one just came to me. I just thought I'll do something a bit different. This might be a bit too geeky with the title, but I'm going to call this the one omnibus to rule them all. So basically, I mean, I've only got about 10 omnibuses, but this is my all-time favourite. And if I had to keep one omnibus out of every omnibus available, this would be the one. And I think it'll become obvious why when I do show it. But yeah, I just thought for a change to just show one of my favourite books of recent years, but it's one of my favourite stories of all time in comics. Okay, so I'm just being very apologise if there's any like noise distractions. I've got the fan on and windows open. It is so hot and humid. It's the only way I can do it. So it's this big boy. It's the Jack Kirby's Fourth World omnibus. My God, it's heavy. And I've got such puny arms, and that's the back cover. So basically, it's everything from the Fourth World series. So it includes Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, the New Gods, Forever People, and Mr. Miracle, and also the graphic novel he did, I think about 10 years, 15 years after the New Gods comic finished, because it finished incomplete, his version of it anyway. And so that's in it as well, and all the pages are being I think restored colour wise, and they look absolutely amazing. It is such a handsome sorry, my my tripod's wobbling like this. It's such a handsome presentation. I think it looks amazing without the cover on as well. That's it's so heavy. That's the interior cover without the sleeve on. One thing that is interesting, I'm sure you've heard this on other channels, what might have looked at this, is that Superman's face in Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen was redone. They rubbed out Jack Kirby's version of his face, and I think they got Kurt Swan or somebody else to do the face. But yeah, the book is just gorgeous. I mean, without Fourth World, you wouldn't have films like Star Wars, because I mean, basically, George Lucas just basically ripped, I think it was the Seventh Samurai and the Fourth World off to get his idea of Star Wars. Because I mean, the Death Star is basically Apocalypse. Darth Vader is basically Dark Side. And you could say that Obi-Wan Kenobi is the High Father. And I guess that makes Luke Skywalker Mr. Miracle. But yeah, it's just amazing. I don't know how I'm going to do this because it's so heavy. I'm looking at the pictures, but I'm not showing you. So, right from the get-go, one thing I love about Kirby's artwork is it's the way he does like cosmic explosions, and it's like those little circles that just keep on going out. They've given it a name, but I can't remember what it is. What I'm going to have to do, I think, is just lift this down and show you. So that's the interior page of Metron. Oops. Oh, this is going to be a nightmare. Hold on, I'm going to put my microphone down. Here we go. It's not going down. There we go. I'm just going to have to talk extra loud. So that's the interior page. I mean, that is gorgeous. Jack Kirby's one of my all-time favourite artists. When I was younger, I hated him. I was much more of a fan of the Fantastic Four when he left. I had like in Britain they did like these treasury compilations of black and white printings of Fantastic Four stories, and I always kind of like skipped through Jack Kirby's, but I've grown to love him so much now. There's a really good introduction in this, and it starts with Jimmy Olsen and the Newsboys Legion. I mean, this became, they used this later on in the 80s after John Byrne's reinvention of Superman. Marv Wolfman, Jerry Ordway, and all the people who are on the other team of Superman books, they started incorporating the Newsboy Legion and the Guardian, etc., from Jack Kirby's world into the Superman mythology, and it worked so well. I'll show you what I mean about them covering up Jack Kirby's face, what he drew of Superman, and just using, I think it was, like I said, Kurt Swan or another artist to do Superman's face. So that kind of throws you out a bit. I wish they'd have somehow kept, if they'd have had like some facsimile of Jack Kirby's Superman face, I'd love to have seen how that looked. But I've not actually read, I don't think I've read the Newsboy Legion. I've read Miss Miracle and Forever People and New Gods, because they came out in trade paperback about 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And I had the New Gods when they did those compilation, like, deluxe paper format ones from 20 odd years ago. So I've not actually got around to reading this because it is such a beast. This is my next book to read. I'm reading Third World Crisis at the moment. And then you've got the Forever People. Let me just put this down so I can show you. I mean, this is just gorgeous. I mean, this is Jack Kirby unfettered. This is Jack Kirby being able to write his own stories. Granted, he's not the greatest writer of dialogue, but by the same token, Stan Lee wasn't all that great. Stan Lee it's like Chris Claremont's school of writing, where why use one word when you could use 50? Whereas at least Jack Kirby's was much more compact and contained in his writing. And yeah, it's just great. What I like about the layouts of this omnibus, they don't do it all the Forever People comics together, or the Jimmy Olsen comics together. They do them issue by issue. So the next one after the Forever People is the New Gods. So let me show you this poster, this cover. This is one of my all-time favourite covers for a comic. It's just beautiful. And this is where Kirby really shines. This is when he starts focusing on the history and the world building of Apocalypse. And is it New Eden? I can't remember what Highfather's place is called. Yeah, I mean, it's ultimate cosmic Jack Kirby. Let me just get this. So, as you can see, it's got all the cosmic, that's it, cosmic crackle, that's what they call it. They've got all the amazing cosmic crackle. But yeah, I'm getting excited just looking at it. Let me put this down again. I mean, it's quite biblical in a way. Like, you've got the writing on the wall, which is a very Old Testament thing. I think it was Moses who did that. Because I think Kirby's Jewish, if I remember. So there's a lot of, he's kind of like blended Judaism, Christian mythology. Oh, Christian's going to hate me for that. And all other like cultures, and then spiced it up with his own cosmic science fiction. And it's just fantastic. And of course, after that, I'm not going to go through it all because it's just too much, and I want to keep this quite brief. But then you have the wonderful Mr. Miracle, so it moves to Mr. Miracle from there. And yeah, again, just beautiful and gorgeous. I mean, Mr. Miracle, if you don't know, scot-free. He was raised, like, I can't remember what the other planet, I think it is called New Eden. Like I said, this will be my next one to read. He found out later on, I don't want to give too many spoilers, that he was, because if you're not au fait with the New Gods, then it's nice to discover it yourself. But I'm sure you know if you've read Tom King's Mr. Miracle book. But he was raised somewhere. How big could I get? And it turned out he should have been raised somewhere else. It turned out he was the son of somebody else. But yeah, but he comes to Earth, and he basically inherits the mantle of Mr. Miracle. Mr. Miracle is this circus escape artist, and he basically takes over for him and gets the iconic Mr. Miracle costume, which I think is one of the best superhero costume designs of all time. But like I said, it fills out the characters. Then you get people like I think it's Project Cadmus. So you get people like the Guardian showing up. And he just keeps on world building and adding so much depth to this book. I mean, if you think about it, this comic saga covered Jimmy Olsen, Forever People, New Gods, Mr. Miracle. So it's 4 comics. I think they're all coming out on monthly, and it's this huge saga that, yeah, you could read the comics separately if you wanted, but it's like the Superman Triangle comics where you benefited more if you read each one after the other. And I just can't say. I mean, this is Jack Kirby at the height of his power. I mean, let me just put this down again just to show you this spread. There's so much beautiful artwork, but this is pure, unadulterated Kirby. Nobody can design alien cityscapes like that. It's just absolutely jaw-dropping. For me, the best artists in the world are Kirby, Mobius, Katsuhiro Otomo. I think that's how you spell his name. Not got my specs on. I'm looking at the Akira box. And I would say, for me personally, I would say Carlos Esquera, but that's just me with my 2000 AD loyalty. But yeah, it goes into so much depth. I mean, you have Orion coming on, who's like the ultimate anti-hero. He was like the first not bad guy, but he was a good guy, but he was very dark. He was the first character I think I've seen in comics who was like that. It was just leagues ahead of anything that was out at the time, and it showed that Kirby was really the creative genius of a lot of the Marvel comics. It wasn't Stan Lee. Stan Lee had a few ideas. Said, "Hey, let's have a young man becoming a spider," and Ditko ran with that and made it much, much more. And the same with the Fantastic Four under Kirby's amazing design and storytelling. But there's so much. I mean, this book is chunky. There is over 1,400 pages. Like I said, and later on, the reprint. Sorry, I'm not sure. Thank you, Alexa, for that unwarranted interruption. Yeah, later on, they reprint the Jack Kirby graphic novel he did in the 80s. I think it was called The Hunger Dogs. Let me just show you a page from it. But he never lost it. He still has so much skill, so much beauty in his artwork. And what's great about this omnibus collection, I think you can get these in like softcover collections as well, but I don't normally urge people to buy omnibuses because they're very unwieldy. This is a huge beast of a book. I want to read it. I'm desperate to read it, but the sheer weight of it scares me. So I am going to read it, like I said, hopefully next. But what's great, they have really good extras as well. There's got a bit called the Mother Box Files at the end, and I'll just show you some of the like the info pages of different characters on it. I think they got these from the secret, the DC secret files or whatever they're called, the Who's Who in DC. Sorry. So you got Big Barda and Beautiful Dreamer from Forever People. Big Bear from Forever People, and the Black Racer, who is an amazing character. His introduction, when I first read the New Gods and I read about him, just genius. Then Darkseid, of course. I mean, Darkseid for me is the greatest villain ever created for comics. And one of my favourite creations by Jack Kirby, Forager, who I think if you remember in Micronauts, there's a character called Bug. I'm sure they were heavily influenced by Forager for creating Bug. But that's not all. They also, at the back, give introductions on Motherbox, New Genesis, and they give a whole timeline and history. So you get about 40, if not more, pages of back data and extras. There's concept drawings as well. Let me just show you the concept drawings. Let me just turn the page. I'm shouting, but I don't know if it will carry because I'm keeping off having to put the microphone down. So these are some more adverts that he did for them. Backdata, that's what they call it, isn't it? Backdata. And the Infinity Man. And again, Marvel ripped that off later on with, what's it? I forgot what it's called. I can't remember, but I think he appeared in Machine Man. But he had a different name, like a cosmic kind of character. And the thing that I find most exciting about this, they have some uninked pencil art by Jack Kirby. So let me just show you these. And the good thing about the uninked page, it's got a picture of Superman with Kirby drawing his face before Kurt Swan or whoever did the standard Superman face. And I really wish they'd have kept Kirby's face on it because his face is brilliant. This is Kirby's Superman. And of course, I'm going to finish with a pencil page, but this is going to be, I mean, nobody does splash pages like Kirby. So let's finish with a Kirby splash page of just this pure pencil art. So that's this beast. I'll show you the cover again. So the cover has really nice spine, if I'm not covering it up. So that's the spine. So it sits really, it looks really handsome on a shelf. I love just looking at it. It's a thing of beauty that you can just glance through and just get so much from it. That's the front cover and the back cover. It retails for $150. I got mine on Amazon about a year ago, and I think when I got it, I waited for it to drop down. I got it for about £55, something like that. So sometimes you can get it quite cheap. I'm not sure what it's retail for now or how rare it is now, but if you can find it, I do urge you to buy it. I don't normally recommend Silver Age comics. Well, I don't know if it's Silver Age because it was 70s, so that might be Bronze Age. But in this instance, I really do, because like I said, this was Kirby. This was peak Kirby. Without this, we wouldn't have other great things like OMAC and Commandy and stuff like that. This is when Kirby found his writing chops as well as his already established artistic chops. Yes, he did writing on Marvel for Captain America, like was it Mad Bomb, but he was still finding his feet, I think, then. I don't know if I think that was done before this. I can't remember. I could be wrong. But this was just perfect. It had a perfect world created, the best villain you could have in a comic. Without Darkseid, we wouldn't have had other cosmic villains from other companies like Thanos and people like that. It had the almost biblical epic fights, and it had the ultimate clash between a estranged father and son. It was just simply amazing. Like I said, it's been an inspiration of so many comics, but it's also been an inspiration of so many filmmakers as well. I cannot sing its praises highly enough. And DC have done such a wonderful job with the packaging of the omnibus, the colouring of it, the reproduced colouring is so beautiful. It doesn't detract, and it doesn't. Sometimes with new colouring, it can detract from the original art, but this doesn't. It enhances it, which a lot of times it doesn't, because you can tell it's computer colouring. So I don't know how they've done this one. I don't know if they just. I don't know what they've done, but it is just so simply gorgeous to look at. So yeah, I can't praise it high enough. I'm not going to give it a ranking or a rating because it's beyond that. I would say it's a must buy for any true comic lover. And like I said, I'd say it's the one true essential comic from the 70s that you need on your bookshelf, especially in omnibus format. Okay, so that's my. I wasn't intending to do this. It just came into my head this morning when I woke up. So yeah, that's my one omnibus I would recommend to everybody to own. It is such a thing of beauty to look at. It is a work of art. Okay, so I know I'm going to be doing, I think, a Sandman overview soon. I was going to do it today, but then I saw this and I've got to do this. I love it so much. And that's it. Yeah. So hopefully I'll be having some unboxings soon as well. If my comics come. And so hope everybody's having a nice Sunday. It's very, very hot here and I'm melting, so I'm going to go and get a nice lolly or something. Okay, bye.